You're listening to Experience This, a show about the emerging experience economy with your host, Tom Young.
Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome to the show. Let's go around the room. This is Tom Young.
Wendy Azevedo.
This is Shawn Oommen.
And this is Karen.
Well, thanks, everybody, for having this quick conversation. We're here to talk about Shawn's latest adventure, our resident traveler. And I think we're going to call this episode, what are we calling it, Karen? Stranded Without Cash?
Stranded Without Cash.
So, so recently, Shawn, you just got back. You went to some parts of the planet.
No. Wait, went to and was trying to go to. His itinerary was different than where he actually ended up.
I heard you were going to go to Budapest and then Kiev.
And I thought you were going to
Bucharest.
Croatia.
Bucharest. Yeah. No, Bucharest in Romania and then Kiev in Ukraine. That was the original plan.
Okay.
5 days each.
So you're going. It was a 10-day plan, and it was one of your Epicurean vagabond trips by yourself.
Yes,
What brought about going to these places?
Nothing.
Trip or?
No, it was just I found a really cheap ticket. My ticket was $8 to London.
Holy crap!
But this was without the taxes and fees, but it was British Airways, which is normally like $1,000 plus. So I just all right, I have to book this. This is way too cheap. And I know why, because I got on the plane and there was like 13 people on the plane on this British Air. It was like an empty flight. So I'm surprised they didn't cancel it, but I got really lucky.
They had to move the equipment.
They had to move the equipment? What does that mean?
Well, they won't cancel it if they have to move the equipment and get it in position.
Yeah.
So they're going to fly it no matter what. They might as well. So they'll sell it for $5 Vegas. Might as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, there is a negative incremental cost of putting people on the plane for fuel.
Just the weight?
The weight, yeah.
Really?
So, but Ryanair used to do that. I did what you're doing, where I would gate where I was going based on the airfare.
Airfare, yeah.
And I got zero. The flight was zero from London to Salzburg. And you had to pay the tax, which was like $7.
Yes. Yeah.
And so people would what happened was people would just purchase these tickets as an option.
Yeah.
And they'd say, oh, it's a great opportunity. I'm going to buy 3 tickets for me and my friends, or whatever the issue is going to be. And then I'm going to convince people that we should go to wherever the hell they're flying to.
Right.
And if you don't, it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Where do you buy these tickets? This was online?
This was online, but I found this through my Chase Rewards. So
okay.
I actually didn't even pay. I used points to pay for the tax and fees part of it. So this is
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is a great deal. So I had to just jump on it.
To check my Chase card.
Yeah, check your rewards once in a while. You never know when you get good deals.
It's wild. So you do this. You have this plan. This is not the first time you've done this. This is why we like talking to you, because we're going to live vicariously today. Because the odds of me doing this, Wendy, are you going to do this? Like fly by yourself to the middle of nowhere? And,
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think so. But it's fun to talk about it. And so anyway, so what happened? Because it's a funny story.
Yeah,
I think it's funny.
So I had landed there, and I guess one part I didn't tell you was this happened to be my birthday, actually. So, and I think people in the hostel knew about it. So they had gotten me a cake or whatever, and then we all went out.
Did you know anybody there?
I knew nobody there.
So how did they know it was your birthday?
Well, one of them, when they got my passport and they were writing down my information, they saw that it was the day, and they're like, "Oh, happy birthday!" And then they just told everyone around that was working. And it's like a family, honestly. When you're in a hostel, I got to know them, and I'm really friends with all of them now.
This is in Bucharest?
This is in Bucharest, yeah.
Okay.
When I landed there.
Wow.
And so we all went out together, and we all they were buying me drinks and stuff, and I met some Romanian guys, and they were really friendly as well, and they took me to another bar a little whiles away. And then things started getting a little fuzzy, memory-wise.
Do you have both your kidneys?
I hope.
How much was your hostel?
It was $8 a night.
So the flight was $8, and the room was $8.
Yeah, $8 per night. So it was very, very cheap.
All right, that's what.
So what did you take with you? Just one backpack?
I had just my backpack, and I did bring just a separate backpack, which is my iPad and laptop in case I needed to do anything. So yeah, that was about it. It was pretty light carry.
Sorry, so I interrupted you. So your night started to get
a little fuzzy. Yeah, and then I just remember I remember getting back to my hostel, getting out of the taxi, and this taxi driver being furious with me because I had no cash and no debit card or credit card or anything in my wallet. So he was pretty pissed that I had no way to pay him. And I was just telling him, hey, just come back here tomorrow, the same spot. I'll be here. I'll find a way to get cash and all of that. I was actually trying to write him a check, like a cashier's check, because I found one of those in my wallet. And he was just not having that.
So was the dialogue... I mean, what was the English? Like,
it was all in English. They speak very well.
Okay.
Yeah, they speak very good English.
Because I was just imagining having to explain to a driver in a foreign country.
Yeah.
I'm really good for this cash tomorrow.
Yeah. I think that helped that I had like good English. He knew I was like a foreigner. So he knew I wasn't just like some, random guy from Romania just trying to screw him over. I think he knew this is just an idiot tourist.
So your first night there, you lose your credit card and debit card.
Yeah, the only 2 credit card and debit card. The only 2 that I had.
And how much cash did you have?
0. I had no dollars and no no Romanian currency left either.
So
I used it all. And then to make it worse, I had gotten back to the hostel and then I'm like kind of freaking out. So I like look online.
So are you kind of drunk at this point? Or?
Oh, very, very drunk. Yes.
You also have to process this in a state of mind.
Yes, I was.
What's that like?
I wouldn't know. It's been so long.
That's a separate podcast.
That's a never podcast. That's not happening. So drunk?
Yeah.
No cash, no credit card in Romania.
In Romania, and to make it worse, I looked at my
and you were naked.
No, not yet.
Holy cow.
No, so I looked online to see what, to find the number to call, and I found that there was almost $1,000 worth of charges on the debit card at the bar that I was at, which again makes no sense because one of the charges was like $700 something at once. So I had no idea what was going on there, but I just remember being on the phone pretty drunk, 20 minutes. This was probably at like maybe I'd say 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. Just like canceling all my stuff, canceling my card and my debit card and telling them about the fraud thing. And somehow I managed to do all of this, and then I went to sleep and I didn't wake up till like 4 p.m. the next day, in which after I woke up with a throbbing headache and realized that I had nothing.
You had your phone?
I had my phone. And just to preface, this is not actually the first time this happened to me.
Ooh, the plot thickens here.
This happened to me before, but I lost my phone too. So that was like a way, way worse situation.
What country were you in that time?
Portugal at the time. This is much better. This is almost cake now because I had the phone. It's a game changer.
So did you use something like Venmo or PayPal or something?
Yeah. So the first thing I did when I woke up was like, I have to get some cash just to buy some water. So I had gone to the hostel, and those guys are super friendly. They were like immediately trying to help me in any way they can. I just said, if there's any Americans that are staying here, I could just Venmo them money right now, and they can just go to the ATM and get me some cash or something. Yeah. And that'll just be good enough to survive while I'm here. And then in Kiev, I'll just do it again. Yeah. And meanwhile, I talked to my credit card companies, and I asked them if they could ship it abroad to my hostel.
Not to Romania.
They will, in 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So it actually takes 3 days. But this happened on Saturday, so they won't ship it till Monday, and I would have been out by then.
And then you say, ship it to Ukraine. You're like,
so
right.
Well, I told them that, and they did end up doing it.
Really?
So they shipped it. They said, fine, we'll ship it to Ukraine.
Why the hell would they do that?
I only knew this because in Portugal, the same thing happened. They shipped it there, too. They do an awesome job.
It's a nice little plug for Chase, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I pay a shit ton for their...
Yeah.
Sorry for the cursing. For their membership, it's like I pay like $450 a year.
For the international one.
For the Chase Reserve one, but they get $300 back, so it's like $150 a year.
Yeah.
But they do stuff like this. They'll do anything.
So you have a high-end card. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
And the debit card, Charles Schwab, is awesome as well. So they also do the overnight thing. So anyway, I found someone that works there. He's this really awesome, nice kid from Idaho. He's been living there for like 2 years and working at the hostel. Just doing like side jobs, making a living. And so I got in his Venmo. He actually has not used it in years since he was here. So he had to like reactivate everything and replug in all his cards. It took like an hour. But I was able to give him some cash, and he like transfer money to him, and then he went to the ATM, took some money out for me. I gave him a little, I gave him a good beneficial exchange rate so that because he was doing me a favor, and luckily that was enough for me to last the rest of my time in Romania.
Wow.
Yeah, so I ended up like, and then just like doing things wise. The next day I had like kind of woken up and I was by myself, so I was like, okay, I should go see the city now because all I saw was just.
So like, how much
cash
cash did you get?
So I took out $150.
$150,000?
No, 150 just dollars, US dollars, but in Romanian, which was enough for 5 days.
Wow. It's like a day and a half here.
Yeah. That was food,
That's
water,
like
going
one
out,
night.
everything.
I think our bar bill last night was over $200.
You would not have lasted very long in Romania.
I think my hostel was $8, so just to put things in perspective.
That's great. So obviously, inexpensive place to stay.
Inexpensive, yeah.
I figured that might last a day, but
No, yeah, that lasted me the entire time actually.
wow.
So
and then when you got to Ukraine,
So I ended up just in the middle. I'll just tell you. So I ended up meeting some girl at the hostel. She was also traveling by herself.
from Napa.
From Naples, yeah, from Naples.
Oh, Naples.
No,
So
I
she's-
was kidding. I said
Oh yeah.
from Napa.
Oh, that was our last podcast
Oh
episode.
yeah. No, not from Napa. From Naples, close.
So did you met her on Tinder or
No. She
Bumble?
was staying at the hostel.
Okay.
She was staying at the hostel. She
Were
was
you guys
traveling.
roommates?
Oh, we were actually. Yeah, we were in the same room. We were in the same room with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people.
Wendy, we were born 25 years too late. Too early, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so we ended up like, she was just by herself too. I was by myself, and she asked me like, oh, like I'm gonna go get some tickets to something. And I have the rule. I think I told you guys when I travel, I just don't say no to anything. So I just said, yeah, let's go do it. And I ended up going to my first Romanian opera like ever, and this was not Romania, first opera ever. And it was like a really good experience, and like so we became friends. And I only tell you that because she ended up leaving 2 days later, and so we hung out some more or whatever. And then my flight to Kiev was at 8 a.m, and so this was my last day there, and I made friends with all of these guys at the hostel. And like, oh, you got to come out. Like, let's just, nightlife doesn't really start there till like 1 or 2. You get back
PM
at like
or AM?
AM. So you come back at like 6. You're all packed. You just go right to the airport, and then you'll be good. And I was like, yeah, like I could do that.
It's kind of like you guys last night, Little Spain.
Yeah.
The nightlife was just starting at 9.
I want to confirm that we were home, but it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so I ended up doing that, and I came back at like 6. Everything went to plan. According to plan, I had all my bags ready, and it was just a little early. It was like 5:40, so I was like, okay, I'll wait like 15, 20 minutes. I'll order my Uber, and I'll be off. And so I was just sitting in the lobby or in the lounge of the hostel, and then next thing you know, I wake up. It's 8:30, and I'm like, oh great, I missed that flight. So that was, for whatever reason, it's super expensive to go to Kiev from Bucharest, even though they're right next to each other. And there's no buses, there's no trains. Like it makes no sense. I think there's only one bus that goes once a week. So I was looked at the next flight, and it was like there was one later that day, but it was like $300 or something. Wow. Which I was like, I have my hostel booked. I had my hostel booked, and I had a flight from Kiev back to London booked. So I had like my escape and everything from there. So I was like, I should probably take this. But I was talking to the girl too, because she was in Naples, and I just looked, and I found a really cheap flight from Bucharest to Naples for like, it was like $100 or something. So I was like, "Could you mind if I stay with you, and you could show me around or whatever?" And she was more than happy. So I just did that.
So you went to
I just went to
Italy.
Naples. Yeah, that was not part of the plan, but.
Wendy, you're thinking something, you're not saying it.
No, I'm not saying anything.
Well, wait. So because you guys both have kids, so as parents, does any of this?
I would be having a nervous breakdown if that was my kid.
So-
but I think I'm gonna have that kid.
My parents still think
This
I
one.
went to Kiev. Yeah, they have no idea about any of this. I can't tell them. They would
Until
have
we
a heart
send them this
attack.
episode.
No, we can't.
Yeah, when I travel, I carry the backup plans for so what happened to you doesn't happen. So I'll have multiple wallets, and I'll even stash cash in the lining of the suitcase. And I also put a lot of stuff in the cloud. So like because you haven't lost your passport,
No,
but that would really that really restricts you. Then you got to get to the consulate. And
Yep.
So having a picture on the cloud of your passport and your numbers handy, and
So I never walk around. It's just from the airport to the hostel, and then when I get to the hostel, I lock my passport in their lockers, and then I don't touch it until I have to leave. So I don't even take a chance with that. That's the one thing that it's really annoying.
They don't take your passport. I know a lot of places in Italy, the hotels collect it and keep it.
They take it, photograph it.
They usually just photograph it. Yeah, they just scan it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like it when they hold it. I don't even like it when they take it to photograph. They might want to make sure I get it back because I like to keep it under lock and key and keep it safe. But I would usually carry get home cash, which is $5,000-$6,000 in cash.
Not 150
Not 150,
for the
way.
entire week.
and I'll carry multiple currencies like the James Bond wallet. So I used to travel a lot, and I would just get, if I was in your situation, I would be like, oh man, because I'm figuring you're doing dishes or doing other things for money that young men might do.
Fortunately, it didn't come to that.
Well, just think about the even having the advanced tools today. We talk a lot about how digital tools can help in our experience. This really saved your experience by using PayPal and Venmo.
Yeah.
Which one did you use, Venmo?
So we did Venmo first, and then we switched to PayPal because it was faster.
Yeah. And I've been trying to use PayPal. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for this, I'm really thinking.
What?
You can't figure it out.
PayPal?
Why?
Yeah, why can't
it won't let me do it. I mean, I know I can link my bank account to it. That is not happening.
Why?
Oh, well, that'd be why it
That's
doesn't
why.
work.
Yeah.
No, I want to do like a third world use. I want to go to the 7-Eleven with $30 in cash and deposit it into PayPal, which you can do.
Through 7-Eleven?
7-Eleven, CVS, Walgreens. It's for like illegal aliens who aren't in the banking system. They get into PayPal and they get cash. They get paid in cash, and they need to
they deposit
Yeah.
digitally.
they deposit
that way?
into PayPal physical cash. So the way it works on the app is it's supposed to generate a barcode, and you go to 7-Eleven and say, "Here's my barcode. Here's the cash," and then they deposit it into your account.
And they
take the
charge a
cash.
fee or something?
Right, and it's a way for you to offload cash.
Right.
I just can't get it to work, and there's nobody at PayPal that I guess I could call and try to set up I just haven't figured it out yet.
So you want to do that? You want to do the
Well, I'm just playing around with it. I don't really need it. I'm just trying to because somebody Rohan lost a bet and soccer bet, and he Venmo'd me. I never have Venmo. He Venmo'd me $20. So I'm like, what am I going to do with this $20 entry here? So I said, I'm going to Venmo to PayPal. You can't do that,
can't
even though
do
it's
that,
the same company.
It is the
Yeah.
same company.
It's like, well, why can't I do that? But I mean, these tools are great because now that I know it, I want to have a PayPal balance and a Venmo balance when you travel. That way, if you're ever in a jam, boom, you just send it right to somebody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, though, if it wasn't for that, I don't know what else I would be able to do. Like I would.
Well, could you have gone physically? Is HSBC around? Like, can you go to another bank, like a Citibank or one of the global ones?
Not without a card.
Yeah, I guess, and not having an account with
mean,
them either.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
I just would carry extra cash. I mean, it's not like you're getting a lot of interest in the bank, and
Yeah.
it's when I worked for a consulting firm, we had. You guys may not remember this, but after 9/11, there was a humongous power outage on the East Coast. So a lot of our consulting firm was out in the field on 9/11, and they shut down air traffic, and people were traveling all around the country, and they get stranded. Like a bunch of people were stranded in Boston, had to get to Dallas. They ended up like renting a car. Someone even bought a used car, and bought it, drove it to Texas, and sold it. Because you couldn't get home.
Yeah.
And people wanted to be home. They didn't want to be stuck somewhere.
Right.
And so that event in 9/11 showed people that, you know, they were taking a lot of things for granted, and just not having a little bit of insurance in your wallet just to make sure that you're prepared. So I got assigned to, you know, what are the best practices, and one of them was get home cash. Because I'll tell you, when shit hits the fan, cash works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works for a while anyway. But just put a couple $1,000s in your wallet. It's not there to spend. It's not there to do anything with. It's not there to use. It's there for an emergency.
Right.
And so anyway, we had a power outage in the East Coast that hit from, say, Detroit to New York and Boston, and power outage was regional for several days. And, you know, people were able to they had all their stuff, and it was a great way to just a good lesson. And pretty much I haven't had any issues. It's like one of those things, if you get the insurance, nothing ever happens.
Yeah, of course.
So did they end up mailing the card to Kiev?
So they did. And then I ended up having to call them and cancel that one again, and then say, can you just send it home here? I'm not even going to use it.
So how was Naples?
Naples was incredible.
Wendy, how stressed are you right now?
Yeah, Wendy, is this stressing you out?
Totally. Yeah. That would drive me bananas.
But it was an experience. I'm here. I'm alive. It's all good.
Are you still in the same, another $150 in Naples? Naples is more expensive.
So Naples was actually dirt cheap. It makes no sense. It's easily the cheapest. It has to be one of the cheapest places in Italy for sure. And I had my friend there.
I want to go on a trip with Shawn.
Yeah.
You just grab some pocket change and you all set it up.
It's easy. It'll be cheap too.
You might have a heart attack in the process, but
Yeah. You just got to be careful. You might get a Tinder date while you're traveling. So you go to Naples and you redo the routine and you get some cash?
Yeah, so I was there with the girl I met from
Yeah.
Bucharest, and she helped me out. She just gave me some cash. I PayPal'd her. So I was good. I only got 50 euros from her. And then we ended up going
it's like less than Bucharest.
Well, I got 50 euros from her, but then I ended up going out to dinner with her and a couple of her friends. And then I just paid for the dinner using my wallet. The Apple Wallet thing, which I found out they linked that finally with my wallet. So then that started working. So I did that, and then I just had them pay me cash.
You used
Your
Apple Pay, right?
Apple Pay.
But Apple Pay is tied to what?
A bank account.
The credit card.
That they didn't send to you?
That they didn't send me, but they re-updated it, and they did that quicker than they sent me the card.
Really?
The physical card, yeah.
Oh, I thought you had to be in possession of the physical card for Apple Pay to work.
No, somehow Chase is linked with Apple Pay, so they do it automatically. I didn't know that until...
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that was really nice.
So Naples was accepting Apple Pay in a lot of locations?
Actually, Bucharest was the best.
Really?
Bucharest was accepting credit cards everywhere. Naples was much more tough. They're much more cash based.
Credit cards or Apple Pay?
It's contactless.
Oh, contactless.
Like, contactless
yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
So yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah.
So you had a good time?
It was an awesome time.
So what did the experience of losing the cash, what did you appreciate, not appreciate? What was a good part of it?
There was a brief moment of fear when that next day I'd woken up and to be honest, I was just hungover. I was super thirsty. I just wanted some water, and I just had no
Basic
money.
Necessity of life.
Just water.
Yeah, just water. And so that was it was a little bit scary. And I realized like what you were saying, I just realized that was really dumb that I don't have any US dollars or any cash or anything that I didn't bring.
In the lining of your bag?
Nothing. I should do it though. I will do it for the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and you only need $100 according to what you're rolling. So, but you can throw a few bucks in there and then it's set, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing is you can also now you know how to bail someone else out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Return the favor, pay it forward.
Of course, yeah.
That's wild.
That's fun. And so your teammates, you probably didn't hear from any of your teammates during this ordeal.
No,
I mean, we were all talking about it.
Yeah. No, I think Rohan told us, and I just assumed that you got it square. I had no idea it was this bad. I assumed you lost your stuff and you had to use your backup cash and they emailed you the car, whatever. I figured you had it resolved. I had no idea that you'd never had it resolved, and you were
Going to different
you had
places.
a tin cup, and you were selling your kidney.
Yeah,
Dying for water.
Yeah, dying for water for brief day. That was.
And you appreciated the small things.
Yeah, exactly. I will always remember that, like me sitting at the table trying to figure that thing out with with the friend I had met, and I was just so thirsty and so hungry. I couldn't wait for this just to be finished or to figure this out, because it was like constantly things that were going wrong. They weren't accepting his debit card or something like that. But yeah, that was. I'm glad it got all sorted out, and it ended up being an awesome trip anyway. So it was good.
Wow. So then you had to book a flight home.
So the
to
flight,
London.
I had to book the flight to London,
Okay.
which was great because I stopped in Lisbon for a little while, which is
So
my
Portugal's
favorite
in this
city.
itinerary.
Yeah, it was in the itinerary. I flew from,
You're like Magellan. Going all over the place.
yeah, I went from Italy to Portugal and Portugal to London and then London home.
Wow.
Yeah, that last day was long.
How big is your passport? You must be stamped out.
Almost, yeah.
Did you get a double book?
What's a double book? Oh no,
They
I
add
haven't.
pages.
No.
Yeah,
no.
I bought the double book because I ran out on my last one.
Did you? So I have a couple more years, but I still have like 1 or 2 pages.
Yeah, but if you're gonna go to a country where you require a visa, like China,
That's what it is. I've never been to a country that required, except for Turkey, but they didn't stamp it on there.
no, but like
That takes up like a whole page.
China,
right?
you need 2 pages.
Oh, really?
So you need a page for the visa to be inserted on, and they actually paste it in.
Yep.
And then you need the opposing page for stamps.
Gotcha.
So if you don't have 2 clean pages, they won't even give you the visa, and you have to order an extension on your passport as a pain. So I just ordered a double one in the first place. It's a little thicker, but because my prior passport, I ran out because they don't stamp as much as they used to, but pretty much they still do generally.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, but mine's probably a third full. I have 3 or 4 years left on it.
Have you applied for global entry? Because you definitely should have that if you don't.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
I have global entry.
I haven't found. I don't have it. I have found that coming in for the immigration is pretty fast now.
I find
It is pretty fast. When I came
awful.
in, like with JFK though, I came through JFK. It was a nightmare for non-global entry people because the line
Yeah.
was like, it was absurd. So I think Newark has always been okay, but JFK has been. If you
Yeah,
ever fly in there, it's terrible.
They have these this app now where you come in and it's not like global entry, but it's
the mobile passport.
Mobile
control.
passport
yeah.
control, and you just zip right through.
Yeah.
And I was through in 5 minutes. I mean, it was, and I've come in from Europe and waited an hour.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying.
It's really annoying because you're just home and you just want to get out
Yeah.
of this airport. Like you've just been on a flight for 7 or 8 hours.
I remember flying into this last year. I went to India.
Yeah.
With Bart. You get there at 1 a.m. It was some crazy. It was late midnight or something. And you're traveling all day, and you get there, and it is. It was a zoo. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
90 minutes, and we had a caravan of people, so you got to wait for the one person had to go to 2 lines because they didn't have their visa stamped, and so now we're waiting, 2 hours at the airport after you land just to get on the bus to ride for an hour. We ended up checking in at like 2:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
and then we
Nightmare.
had to get up at 7. So
Yeah.
it was crazy.
I was just thinking his experience prior to the digital era, he would not have had WhatsApp or to connect with that girl in Naples. So he probably would
Well, back in the day, you didn't even have global credit cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had a thing called, Wendy will know what this is, traveler's checks. Right?
Yes.
Remember those?
Yes, I do.
Well, so you would buy these American Express traveler's checks, and other banks sold them, but American Express really dominated the market. And you would go buy them, and you paid a fee to buy them. So you might buy 500 for $512, and it was like cash. And
Accepted around the world.
accepted at banks, and then they would exchange it for local currency. But you countersign it, and then a lot of tourist places will take it.
Gotcha.
Right, and because they want you to spend their money there, so we'll take it, and then people come to their place, and so it was like American Express travel checks, don't leave home without it. That, it was like their slogan. But that was back in the day, But they made a big thing in their marketing about it. If you lose it, there's American Express office everywhere. They'll get it to you. But then global credit cards started coming, and people don't. I still have a traveler's check in my wallet.
Do you?
For $100 or $50.
Just as emergency.
Do they still
It's
even
20
take
years
them?
old. I have no idea if they'll still take it.
Probably not.
I have no idea. When you think how much money American Express made on people like me who just have it and never
cashed it in.
Never cash it in. But I have it's more of a nostalgia thing at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I highly encourage people, scan your documents, have it in the cloud, know your passwords to get in there, stick it on your Yahoo account, your Gmail account, put it in your and have it there. And if you have the iPhone, make sure you're backed up in the cloud, so even if you lose your phone, you can go buy another phone and just zip, and you're back up and running.
Yeah, that was the more of a nightmare when I lost my phone too, because that was like I had no way to contact home or like tell anybody about what I was going on, and
It wouldn't matter. And your coworkers did anything for you.
yeah,
Well, it didn't even occur.
Especially your boss.
It never occurred to me that Shawn wouldn't be on top of this.
yeah,
And it sounds like he got it all figured out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it ended up being fine, so it
Yeah.
worked out.
that's great. So,
Good times.
any future trips planned?
Nothing so far, but we'll
Yeah.
see. I usually just do it like when a deal comes.
When
Yeah.
he sees another $8 flight.
All right, hey, Wendy, if you go to Wildwood this weekend, bring some extra cash, and you're gonna need more than $150. The boardwalk's pretty expensive.
And how crazy is that when you think about it? 2 days in Wildwood will probably be close to $700 or $800. Dinners, my 15-year-old going through all that money for arcades, games, vapes, whatever he decides to buy. And your whole vacation, what was your total cost?
I could sum it up, but I think it was less than 800.
For 10 days in Europe.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that picture?
Yeah, but the issue is Shawn could do that. I don't think you could. No offense.
How do you know?
No, not
I think I could.
You could. I mean, in Romania, the hotels were more expensive. They have really nice hotels, but they were like 60, 70 euros a night.
It's still pretty affordable.
It was pretty affordable.
Yeah.
For really nice hotels.
Yeah.
Or
Or
you
you
don't
could
have
come.
to stay at a nice hotel every
that's by
night.
the hour here.
you could do the hostel too. It's really not that bad. No.
Maybe you should
I
let-
like to go in the house and look around and then not,
Sleep somewhere else.
Actually, you know what I tell people? Like a lot of some like former coworkers from the past, they were debating this, and they were in their like 30s, and so they thought they were a little too old for it. And I said, just book the hostel because it's so cheap anyway. You guys don't care about the price, and then just go experience it, and then just go home and sleep in a hotel at night.
And they did.
And they didn't do it. So I don't even have. They didn't even want to do that. But I advise that you just experience it. There was one guy that was from France that was maybe 55 or 60 years old. He slept right across from me. Super cool guy. He's from Mexico. He speaks like 4 languages, and he's just doing a little bit of traveling now.
Wow.
Interesting stories. Yeah, you'll meet some really cool people.
Wow. Oh, I like to try it one time, but I like that backup plan of having.
Just have a hotel
Yeah.
booked, so you could just go crash there if
So.
you want to.
Well, and Wendy, just call if there's a problem in Wildwood. But yeah, bring your passport.
Go to your local Chase office.
Stick some money in your shoes or something. So, all right. Well, this is
All
great.
right.
Thanks, Shawn, for the update, and
Yes.
and please keep us posted on your next world travel.
Glad
You're
you're
not
back.
going to Antarctica or anything because they don't have ATMs down there. Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. We'll see everybody.
See ya.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Karen, I think you were supposed to say that.
Yeah, thanks. I'll take it from here.
All right. Well, we got to do this is the new Outcast.
Oh, the
Is it called-
outro. The outro.
I think Outcast is a new word. All
Okay.
right. Outro. We're doing a new outro. We got to cover a few things.
All right.
One is what? Subscription.
Do you subscribe through?
We want people to subscribe to this, not just listen to it occasionally.
Okay, yeah. Check
The
us out.
second thing is nothing's better than what? A 5-star rating.
Always 5 stars.
Got to give us the 5 stars because we get better search outcomes. Mm-hmm. And the last thing is comments.
We need those.
Yeah,
we need your feedback.
We want to know what people are thinking. So you can check us out. The best way to do it, if you're not sure, some people don't know how to do it, go to our website. You can check it out. We'll have a full set of instructions. So whatever app you're using. Most people use, what do you use, Karen?
I use Spotify.
You do?
Yeah.
So we have Spotify, we have iTunes, YouTube. There's a whole bunch. Whatever you use, we have it. And if we don't have it, let us know, and we'll try to figure out how to get it.
We can send you a paper-based instruction.
Actually, we do have paper-based instructions, even though that's a fun inside joke to our team. So anyway, Thanks for listening, and check us out on our next shows.
Thanks. See ya.